Will Boris the Wolf help us in Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3? Hey yo prodigies, Prod Charles here. Earlier today I tweeted out a message asking you guys whether or not Boris the Wolf would help us in Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3. I thought you guys offered some really cool answers, so I'm actually going to cover this in this video today as well as my own thoughts. And if you're not following me already on Twitter, well then... yeah, boy! In this tweet I ask, do you think that Boris will help us? I think it will be more fun if he does, but it would make the story more interesting if he didn't, and I'll discuss this a bit later on in the video, but let's just see what the prodigies had to say first. The Enragement Child says, I think he will betray you, because there are hints of wolf in sheep's clothing. Now this is a really cool and interesting point that the Enragement Child has made. Remember that in Chapter 2, Sammy makes many references to sheep when he's talking about Henry. So what some prodigies are saying is that maybe Henry is kind of like a sheep, and this sheep metaphor is used by the Meatly in his tweets as well. Shoutouts to Arashi, by the way, who's been tweeting me really cool DMs by the Meatly. This is one that I'm going to pull out of our conversations. Ever wonder if sheep and wolves get along? Now clearly, Boris the Wolf is a wolf, and if Henry is a sheep, and sheeps and wolves don't get along, then Boris is not going to get along with Henry, which may suggest that Boris will betray Henry, and that's what the Enragement Child is getting at. And I love this metaphor, I love this idea, and it would be so interesting for the story if this actually happened. This is the story part of things. Now let's go on to the Mad Hatter Girl. Maybe both Alice and Boris can help you get out of the studio or help Bendy. I also think this is a really cool idea. This is going more on the side of Boris helping Henry, but it's taking that a step further, and because there's been heaps of hints towards Alice Angel being a key character in Chapter 3, remember in the trailer, the announcement trailer, there was a 3 with a halo on it. Maybe that's actually suggesting that Alice will not only be a huge character in Chapter 3, but she'll also be a huge supporting character. And I replied to this, I said that 2 supporting characters is much better than 1, and it would be really cool to receive some help from Alice Angel. There's a lot of confusion around whether she's good or not at the moment as well. Good, considering that she's like a fallen angel or whatever. Next tweet by Half Gamer Zeno, or giving him help leads you to Alice. This is also a cool tweet, so he's saying that if Boris will help us, he might lead us to Alice Angel. I think this is a cool idea that hints at a positive relationship between Alice and Boris again, and I actually replied to this as well by saying that maybe they actually form a little friendship, a little faction in the cartoons that tries to get Bendy back to normal again. Remember that Ink Bendy is in a kind of corrupted or demonic form that none of the other cartoons we've come across so far have experienced. So it could be possible that these cartoons come together, form a friendship, and try and figure out a way to bring their friend Bendy back, even if it's in the 3D form. Whether or not they want to become 2D cartoons again is up to interpretation. It doesn't look like there's any hint towards the characters wanting to go back to the 2D world yet, but that's just something that's been going through my mind. Jose on Fire says, heck yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. It would be really cool if Boris helps us, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And the last tweet by Pug Network, shoutouts to Pug Network, he's got a YouTube channel and makes pretty cool videos. He says, did you see the Meatly's new tweet about Boris the Wolf? So what he's talking about here is, it was kind of like a reference to his video where he did the Q&A, where at the end he cut himself off when he was about to give info on Boris the Wolf. A bit of a troll. I had a good laugh when Pug Network tagged me in that tweet. It doesn't actually give any information, but it makes it clear that the Meatly really doesn't want anyone to know what Boris the Wolf is going to do before Chapter 3 comes out. I really think it could go either way, honestly. Initially, I thought that he'll help us and eventually he'll betray us because of all of this shenaniganry around him being a wolf and Henry being a sheep sort of character. If Boris the Wolf will help us, it would make the game more fun, because then we'll have an extra element to the puzzle solving that we'll have to do in Chapter 3. Now, if he doesn't help us, that'll complicate the plot a bit, and it'll make Chapter 3 a little bit more tense, I feel, because we wouldn't have a friend there to help us. Even if he started helping us and then just left the picture, at least we'll know we'll have that guiding friendship every now and then. But if he flat out doesn't help us, it not only suggests that he might be another enemy that we have to deal with, but that increases the tenseness of Chapter 3. We might have to deal with more jump scares, we might have to deal with Boris leading enemies to us or something, and we just won't have a friend with us. The story will also become a little bit more complicated than, oh, we make friends with this and this cartoon, and then we try and help Bendy come back to normal, or we try and bring the cartoons back into their 2D world, or whatever actually happens, or whatever they want. Now, I actually took this question to Amino and I made a poll, and this is what the poll results came to be. As you can see, a large amount of people really think that Boris is going to help us. 59.5% said yes, 6.3% said no, and 34.2% said not sure. And thank you so much to all of the people in the Amino that actually voted on this. Shoutouts to all of you guys. I am really grateful for you taking part in this poll. Interestingly, we've also got a comment saying that Boris will help us to kick Bendy's butt, and I haven't really heard this opinion before, but I think it's a really cool one. We're going to get access to more weapons after all, so who knows, maybe Boris will help us fight? That's getting a little bit too action-packed. I don't feel like that would fit in with the theme of Bendy and the Ink Machine, this Kingdom Hearts style combat, but I think that would actually be really cool if it actually happened. Guys, if you're on Amino, that is still happening. Search me up on Prod Charles and you'll be able to find that poll and participate. Let me know what your thoughts are. Now, Prodigies, what do you think? I think that it would be really cool and fun if he joins us, and it would make the story more interesting if he betrays us. Remember to subscribe and tap that bell for more cool and interesting horror game videos. And Prodigies, I really hope that these videos help you to expand on how you think, so it helps with your thinking in your daily lives. See ya!